Today, just going to talk about 10 thoughts I had this morning on the specifically focused around business. I think these will be incredibly useful to all of you out there, and I wanted to share them with you real quick. And hopefully we'll be able to chunk these down and use them for people who need help. So here we go. Number one thought this morning when it comes to business, the concept and the difference between a big win versus consistent growth. What I've found in my experience of coaching entrepreneurs all over the world, from people just getting started to people who've raised $250 million to people who've scaled their company massively, to growing and scaling our own companies. In the process, I've found there's an addiction psychologically to trying to get the big win. And so the thought process is, if I can just get that one client, if I can just get the one deal, if I can just recruit the one person, everything in my business is going to change. Oh my gosh, if I could just hire the right person, then everything's going to change. If I could just, whatever it is, it's the one thing they're trying to do. It's just the one big home run. If they could just hit the home run, everything is going to change. And what I found is sometimes people with a lot of skill and a lot of time and a lot of effort, they hit a home run, boom, and it's like, I did it! And they feel so proud of themselves, and they're so freaking excited, and great things are happening in their life, and they feel so proud, and then they go start buying cars and houses and trips and, hot boyfriends and hot girlfriends and all this stuff. And over time, if you watch their finances, let me grab an iPad real quick. Where is my iPad? My iPad is in the other. I'll be right back. I don't know if you can still hear me, but over time, what ends up happening is their finances have this massive spike, and it's kind of interesting. Could y'all hear me that whole time? Hopefully you can hear me. My AirPods might be working. So let me show you something on the iPad over here. This is kind of interesting. So the concept, let me draw this for you, is they're is that line thick enough? Can you see? Yeah, you can. Cool. So the concept is they're working, and then one day they have this huge victory. So it's like, woohoo, this giant victorious moment, and then all of a sudden, over time, their finances and business kind of looks like this until one day it hits the giant with sparks, the giant bomb that blows up the rest of whatever they had. And when they finally hit this zone down here, they go, ah! And they're freaking out because everything was dependent in their business. Everything was built on the concept of, if I can just get this victory right here, it's going to solve everything. Now, real quick, by raise of hands, how many of you have done this before? How many of you have done this before? How many of you said, if I can just date that person, oh my God, if I could just get that person in a relationship, if I could just date that person, everything in my life's going to be fixed. And then you worked and you got creative and you came up with all kinds of ways to attract this human, and you attracted them and you finally got them in a relationship, and then everything felt like this after a while. Y'all done that? That's because the goal was to get a relationship. The goal wasn't to have a partnership. The goal wasn't to create magic together. The goal was to get it. And as soon as you got it, you were like, well, shit, I got it. Now what? I'm going to go focus on something else in my life. And there went the relationship. Sure, you had one of those. How many of you have done this financially? If I can just make that amount of money, everything in my life is going to be great. And you work and save. And you finally get to that amount of money right there. And you're like, I did it. And then the rest of the journey kind of looks like this, and there went all the money. Boom, gone. You do that too? Here's one. Emotionally. If I could just feel this way, if I can just meditate and chant and manifest and sing and dance and paint and read and sleep and do whatever the heck else you do to finally feel this good, then everything in my life will finally be taken care of. And you finally feel that way, and then you stop doing all the effort it took to get there, and over time your emotions go. I think we have some people who've done that before. And so this first little topic of the 10, I might do a 10-part series because this is getting a little longer than I thought. The first big win versus constant growth. Constant growth, let me flip to another page on the iPad. If this is, so take a mental snapshot. If this is what a big win looks like, everything is geared up in the beginning to get to that big spike in results, and then over time it just goes down from there, then let's draw what would consistent growth look like. Well, I don't think there's any reason that your bank account shouldn't look like this. Meaning you start here, and every day, week, month, and year, yeah, there's little bumps along the way, but every day, week, month, and year, it should go like this. How many of you would like a bank account financially that does that your whole life? Just by a little raise of hands here. Let's see if anyone's interested. What about your emotional bank account? Shouldn't you feel a little better about your life every day as you acquire skills, mental, emotional, physical skills to better understand life, to better sort through all the stuff that shows up, to better handle situations? I have to tell you something that's very important. My mom passed away literally about 3-4 months ago. And it was one of the hardest moments because, losing a relative, losing your mother is not the most fluffy part of life. At the same time, when I observed how I felt during the process, and I watched how other friends, family members were dealing with it and how they felt during the process, we all had our ups and downs. But when I looked very closely, the practice of meditation allowed me to experience more peace, calm, centered, blissful moments during that journey than just about anyone else around me. And when I rewound the thought, I was like, why is everyone continuously freaking out, crying? And everyone grieves their own way. I'm not judging someone else's grief. What I'm saying is I had an immense amount of calm and peace through a process that most people don't experience. And I said, wait a minute, if this is supposed to be one of the most painful moments of life, and somehow through the habits, through the routines, through the things I've been doing for years, I found this deep peace and calmness in it, I wonder if the other challenging moments that people lose their shit over would really, truly, if people could have that same kind of calmness and peacefulness through it, if they also meditated every day. Then I did some research. That's one of the benefits of meditation. The ability to find peace, calm, centeredness, and groundedness through complete chaos. It's really amazing. And so, why shouldn't your ability to beautifully experience life get better every single day, regardless? Again, there's bumps. There's a moment where I lost my mom, and there's a bump of up and down there. But overall, regardless of the situation, that calm, beauty, peace, centeredness of life continue to get better. What about relationships? This is really interesting. So many people have this concept, the original, if I could just get the right relationship, if I could just get the right person, and they work, and they finally get them, and then they stop doing all the stuff that got the relationship, and slowly the relationship turns to shit and then hits the bomb at the end and blows up. And if you go backwards, you go, wait a minute. What are the habits and practices that I could put into a relationship that every day should make it a little bit better than the day before? What could I be doing? And so the big thought here is, are you searching for a big home run that's supposed to solve everything in your life? Or are you committing to the little stuff every day that actually builds consistent growth, consistent results, consistent progress, consistent beauty, consistent love, consistent strength, or courage? I don't know what it is you need more of in your life, but I would challenge you to do this. Whatever category or area of life that you need more in right now, you need to improve upon, I would challenge you. Get real with yourself and say, hey, what is the daily habit I can commit to that would actually cause consistent growth and progress in this category of my life? What's something I could do every day, something little that'll create consistent growth? Otherwise, if you're focused on this concept of just trying to find your big win that'll solve everything, the best case scenario is you find the big win, and then the only thing that sucks is over time it's going to slowly decay. Versus if you're that person who's like, hey, I'm willing to do a little bit of progress every day, over time it's only going to get better. That concept, lock it down, figure out what it is, make a commitment. I'm going to turn this into a 10-part series because this turned out to be longer than I thought, but I'll tell you the other 9 on the list just so you know what's coming in the next 9 days here. So number 1, big wins versus consistent growth, which we talked about today. Was this valuable? Is this useful for people who are watching? Throw something in the comments just so I know. Number 2, double down on your core business. Double down on your core business. I'll tell you what that means tomorrow. Number 3, focused on the best return on investment projects, the best projects with the biggest ROI. Number 4, we're going to talk about how knowledge compounds, just like money compounds compound interest. Knowledge compounds over time. So how to build your personal PhD program. Number 5, we're going to talk about the odds. So, whenever you make a decision to do something, you got to ask yourself, what are the odds that this is going to work out? What are the odds that this is going to go the way I need it to? And we're going to show you how to move the odds in your favor, how to have, instead of 50-50 odds, how to get 60-40 or 70-30 or 80-20 odds or 90-10. So it's 90% going to happen. But how do we tilt the odds in your favor? Number 6, we're going to talk about how to keep the customers you have. Number 1 way to grow your business. Here's my favorite question. If you still had every customer who ever tried you as a business, how big would your business be? Most of us are so busy trying to get new customers, we're not concerned with keeping the customers we have. If you keep all the customers you have and add one every now and then, you'll have a monster of a business, consistent growth. But most people are so concerned with trying to hit the home run of the new customer that they're losing customers left to right and not even thinking about it. And it's the fastest way to grow your business. Number 7, how to avoid the dumb stuff. Most of us, if things are going well right now, you don't need to do more smart things. You need to avoid dumb things. Now, as simple as that sounds, we'll go in depth on that on day 8 or 7. Day 8, slow down and double down on the things that actually move the needle. A lot of us get so damn busy doing stuff that keeps us busy instead of doing stuff that actually causes progress. So we're going to focus on that. Number 9, oh my God, the difference between A players and mediocre talent. And, big question. It's one of the things my mentor asked me. How many of your problems in business would be solved if you had a team of absolute A players versus mediocre talent? I'm like, shit, almost everything. Like, there you go. Something to think about. Number 10, we're going to go through. So we'll talk about how to attract, find, and hire A players. Number 10, build a machine that continues to produce the results again and again. So if we're going to continue to make progress, we got to figure out what's the machine we need to build that naturally causes that result to occur again and again and again over time. So today's day number 1 of our 10 thoughts. Topic was big wins versus consistent growth. Make a commitment in the next 24 hours to lock down what your consistent growth habit will be. Either message it to me or tag it. Use the hashtag 10 thoughts and tag something to it, and we'll have some fun with this. Or hashtag learn it, live it, give it is our other hashtag we use. So have fun. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and we'll be on day 2 of our 10 thoughts here around how to really maximize your business. Talk to you soon.